Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is ELR3093. So today our group will be presenting a famous Bruneian legend entitled The Legend of Jong Batu. This legend is one of the most well-known folk tales in Brunei Darussalam and continues to play an important role in preserving the country's cultural heritage. Like many traditional legends in Southeast Asia, the story of Jong Batu has been passed down from generation to generation and contains important lessons about family values, respect, and human behavior. Before we discuss the legend itself, it is important to understand the cultural background of the country where this story originated. Brunei Darussalam is a small sovereign nation located on the northern coast of Borneo Island in Southeast Asia. Although it is geographically small, Brunei has a rich history and strong cultural identity that is deeply influenced by Malay costume and Islamic traditions. The official religion of Brunei is Islam, and Islamic values play an important role in shaping the country's social norms, traditions, and daily life. At the same time, Brunei places great importance on preserving its cultural heritage, including traditional arts, custom, and oral literature. One of significant aspects of Bruneian culture is the tradition of oral storytelling. Before the widespread use of books and modern technology, stories were shared verbally within families and communities. Elders would tell stories to younger generation, especially during gathering and social occasions. These stories help preserve local history, belief, and cultural value. In addition, folk tales and legends were often used as educational tools. They taught listeners about important virtues such as honesty, respect, kindness, gratitude, and responsibility. Through storytelling, communities were able to pass down knowledge and moral lessons that remain relevant across generations. As a result, many traditional stories continue to hold cultural significance in Brunei today. These stories are not only appreciated as entertainment, but are also valued as a reflection of nation's identity and belief. One of the most famous examples of Bruneian folk tales is the legend of Jong Batu. So the legend of Jong Batu is one of the most widely known legends in Brunei and is closely connected to a real geographical landmark known as Jong Batu, a rock formation located along the Brunei River. According to local belief, this rock formation was once a ship that belonged to sailor named Nakoda Manis. What made this legend particularly interesting is the way it combines elements of history, culture, and morality. Although the story cannot be proven as a historical event, it remains an important part of Bruneian folklore because it reflects the values and beliefs of the local community. The legend has been transmitted orally for centuries and has become one of the most recognized traditional stories in Brunei. Even today, it is commonly taught in schools, discussed in cultural studies, and shared among families as a reminder of the importance of respecting one's parents. From a literary perspective, the legend of Jong Batu can be classified as a moral legend because its primary purpose is not only to entertain but also to teach an important lesson. The story warns against arrogance, pride, and disrespect towards parents while promoting values such as gratitude, humility, and filial responsibility. For this reason, the legend continues to remain relevant in modern society and is regarded as an important cultural treasure of Brunei Darussalam. I think that's all from me, so I will pass them to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Nur Asifah Zulaikha binti Udin. I am going to present cultural background and the origin of the myth. Long ago, in the heart of Brunei, stories were not written in books, but passed down through the voices of elders from one generation to another. One of these well-known legends is the story connected to Jong Batu, or the stone ship. The legends come from traditional Malay culture in Brunei and reflects the values that were deeply respected in Southeast Asian society. In the past, oral storytelling was very important. Parents and elders would gather children together and share legends like this, not only for entertainment but also to teach moral lessons and guide younger generations in life. The name Jong Batu itself carries a special meaning. The word Jong refers to a traditional ship or boat, while Batu means stone. Together, the name means stone ship, which is believed to be connected to the tragic ending of the legend. Even today, Jong Batu remains an important culture symbol in Brunei, reminding people about family values, respect, and the consequences of pride and disavoidance. Long ago, near the Brunei River, there was a story that many people still remember until today. Local communities believe that a rock formation near the river is connected to this legend, making it an important part of Brunei's folklore heritage. Even today, the story is still shared in school, storytelling activities, and culture programs, so that younger generations will continue to remember the history and belief behind the legend. The story centers around a young man named Nakhoda Manis. He lived with his mother, Dang Ambon, who loved and cared for him deeply. As he grew older, Nakhoda Manis became successful and eventually married. However, after gaining wealth and status, he became arrogant and forgot his humble beginnings. Alongside his wife and the villagers who witnessed the events, the story unfolds into a tragic lesson about family and respect. Through this legend, people are reminded about the importance of respecting parents, staying humble, and never forgetting where we come from. That is why the story of Nakhoda Manis continues to live on as an important cultural legend in Brunei. Stories like Nakhoda Manis are not only found in Brunei. Across neighboring countries, similar legends have been passed down from one generation to another. In Malaysia, there is the famous story of Si Tanggang, while in Indonesia, people know the legend of Maling Kundang. Although the names are different, the stories share many similarities. Each tale tells the story of a son who becomes successful but slowly forgets his origins. Blinded by pride and wealth, he disobeys and rejects his own mother when she comes looking for him. His actions eventually lead to regret and tragedy. These legends show that neighboring countries often share similar folklore and cultural values. Through these stories, communities teach younger generations about the importance of respecting parents, staying humble, and never forgetting where they come from. Even today, the stories of Si Tanggang, Maling Kundang, and Nakhoda Manis continue to live on as timeless reminders of family, respect, and moral responsibility.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Azmina Shamimi. For this part, I will presenting the story summary of Nakhoda Manis, one of the famous legends in Brunei. The story begins with a young man named Nakhoda Manis who was born into a poor family. Although his family struggled financially, he was hardworking and determined to build a better life for himself. As he grew older, he became a successful trader and eventually a wealthy ship captain. After gaining wealth and success, Nakhoda Manis returned to Brunei. His mother, Dang Ambon, was overjoyed because she had waited many years to reunite with her son. She approached him happily and proudly, hoping to see him again after such a long separation. Unfortunately, instead of welcoming her, Nakoda Manis felt ashamed of his mother's poor appearance. Because of his pride and arrogance, he denied that she was his mother. Imagine how painful that must have been for Dang Ambon after all the sacrifice she had made for him. Heartbroken by her son's action, Dang Ambon prayed for justice. Soon after, a powerful storm struck Nakoda Manis' ship. According to the legend, the ship was transformed into stone, which is now known as Jong Batu. This tragic ending serves as a lesson about respecting our parents and remaining humble regardless of our success. Next, I will discuss the first theme, which is morality and justice. Throughout the story, we can see a major change in Nakoda Manis' character. When he was poor, he was hardworking and ambitious. However, after becoming wealthy, he became arrogant and forgot the values that shaped him. One of the most important moments in the story is when he refused to acknowledge his own mother in public. This action is considered morally wrong because he values his social status more than family and gratitude. As a result, the story presents justice through the supernatural punishment that follows. The storm that destroys his ship and turns it into stone symbolizes the consequences of his action. From my perspective, this theme teaches us that every action has consequences. Success and wealth are important, but they should never make us forget our values, especially respect for our parents and family members. Moving on to the second theme, which is family expectation and filial piety. In these legends, Dang Ambon represents unconditional parental love. Despite years of separation, she continues to love her son and patiently waits for his return. She never gives up hope of seeing him again. However, Nakoda Manis fails to fulfill his responsibility as a son. Instead of appreciating his mother's sacrifice, he prioritizes his reputation and social status. This theme highlights the importance of filial piety, which means respecting, caring for, and honoring our parents. It reminds us that family relationships should always come before weight, status, or personal pride. I think this message is still very relevant today because sometimes people become so focused on success that they forget the people who supported them from the beginning. The story encourages us to remain grateful and maintain strong family bonds. To conclude, the legend of Nakoda Manis is not only an interesting story but also a meaningful lesson about humility, justice, gratitude, and respect for parents. Through the experience of Nakoda Manis and Dang Ambon, we learn that true success is not measured by wealth alone but also by how we treat the people who love and support us.
Hi, my name is Nur Nadia Natasha binti Muhammad Anwar. My ID number is AN24080166885.
And I will present about contemporary adaptation and the moral values. For the contemporary adaptation, although Jong Batu is an old folk tale, it continues to influence people today. The story has been adapted into children's storybooks, school literature, cultural theatre performance, and tourism storytelling, educational animations, and short films. These modern adaptations or contemporary adaptations help preserve the legend and introduce the moral lesson to younger generations in an interesting and engaging way. The legend also has significant social and cultural value. Many local communities in Brunei see Jong Batu as a reminder of good moral behavior. The site itself has become an important part of Brunei's cultural identity and heritage. Stories like Jong Batu help preserve Malay traditions, beliefs and values for future generations. For the last slides moral value such as respect your parents. In conclusion, the legend of Jong Batu is more than just a traditional folktale through its modern adaptation or contemporary adaptation and timeless moral lesson. It continues to teach valuable values that are relevant in today's world. That's all from our group. Thank you. Long ago in Brunei, there lived a poor widow and her only son, Nakoda Manis. Although they were poor, his mother loved him deeply and hoped he would have a better future.
My son, are you certain you want to leave?
Yes, mother. I want to sail across the seas and become a successful trader.
Life has not been easy for us, but wherever you go, never forget your family and your village.
I promise, mother, I will return one day as a wealthy and successful man.
Remember, wealth means nothing without kindness and respect. May God protect you, son.
Many years passed, Nakoda Manis traveled across the seas and became a wealthy trader. He married a beautiful woman and became captain of his own ship.
This trading ship has arrived at our village. Really? Who is the captain?
They say it is Nakoda Manis.
My son! After all this year?
Yes, he has become very rich and successful man.
Thank God, I have waited so long for his return.
Go and meet him. He must be happy to see you.
The reunion between wife, mother and Nakoda Manis. So this is the village where you grew up?
Yes, but it is small and poor. My life is much better now.
Nakoda Manis, my son. I have waited for you for so many years. Who is this woman? I am his mother. Your mother?
No, she must be mistaken.
What are you saying? I am your mother. I raised you and care for you.
Stop lying. My mother could never look like this.
My son, please look at me. Have you forgotten everything I sacrificed for you?
Nakoda, are you sure about this?
Leave me alone, old woman. You are embarrassing me.
The truth became. Nakoda Manis, she's telling the truth. Everyone in this village knows how much she sacrificed for you. I worked day and night to give you a better future. She waited every day for your return. I never wanted your way. I only wanted to see my son. Nakoda, she seems sincere. Why are you treating her like this?
I am a respected captain now. I cannot be associated with a poor old woman.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Nakoda.
Suddenly, the curse begins.
I love you unconditionally and sacrifice everything for you. Yet today you deny me because I am poor.
Please apologize to her.
Never! If this is how you treat your mother, then I leave your fate to God. Oh God, if he is truly my son and he has forgotten his duty as a son, show him the consequences of his arrogance.
The storm is getting stronger.
Nakoda Manis, we must leave now.
Mother, forgive me.
I forgive you, my son, but every action has its consequences.
I was blinded by wealth and pride. It is too late. I should have honored my mother.
According to the legend, the storm destroyed Nakoda Manis' ship. The ship turned into stone and became what is known today as Jong Batu.